On behalf of the National Coordinator of the GSFP, we wish to express our sincerest thanks to the Japanese government for this laudable intervention. The project, in no doubt, will strengthen the capacity of the Ghana program in creating farmer linkages, nutrition training, human resource development. It will also strengthen our M&E structures. Currently, the school feeding program is trying to digitalize the program. By the end of this year, we should move away from the manual ways of doing things into a digitalized era. So on behalf of the National Coordinator, I wish to say he stands in solidarity with the Japanese government, Ifpri Nmimr, to make this project a laudable and a successful one. Thank you.
On behalf of the Embassy of Japan in Ghana, I'm pleased to be here today and to share a few words with you at the inception ceremony. First and foremost, I wish to extend my appreciation to the International Food Policy Institute and the Ifpri Nmimr Institute for Medical Research for putting this project together. Let me also thank the Japanese experts who are here to support the project with their experience and best practices from Japan. The project is formulated around a very key subject, that is education, whose importance cannot be disputed. When school children attend classes hungry, it severely impacts their ability to learn and develop their full potential. And this is one of the reasons why this project is very important. And personally, after my high school education, I taught for a year in one of the deprived communities in the Ashanti region. And I can attest the importance of the school feeding program. And it has been the traditional stance of Japan's Development Corporation, to build the foundations of self-help efforts of our partners. And Japan has been doing this both bilaterally and through international organizations. Earlier this morning, I joined another program, a nutrition-related program funded by the government of Japan. And it focused on improving the feeding practices of children for the first 1,000 days. And earlier today, the head of the economic section, Mr. Sonoda, joined you on another nutrition-related program. And we're having another one here today, this afternoon, for school children. And this all goes to show how the government of Japan is very much committed to supporting such initiatives in Ghana. Japan believes in growing together with its partners. And in order to fully support global efforts, the government of Japan, through the Japan International Cooperation Agency, have been working very hard to apply Japan's own experience in several policy domains in Ghana and Africa as a whole. And in the area of nutrition, I'm very sure you are all aware of the Initiative for Food and Nutrition Security, which was launched during the Tokyo International Conference for African Development, TICAD 6. This project we are launching today is consistent with the thematic areas of the Initiative for Food and Nutrition Security. So in the light of the importance of this project, I would like to encourage all the key stakeholders to play their part well. We have around 66,000 school children who are counting on this project. And if it becomes successful, it could be a prototype for future projects. So lastly, let me add that the valued partnership between Ghana and Japan continue to grow from strength to strength. And as Ghana continue to develop, Japan will continue to provide support, more technical support, which are necessary for Ghana to achieve its development targets. I want to thank you once again for the opportunity, and I wish you all a successful project. Thank you.
This is very important, and I think that personally, as a nutrition officer, I'm really happy that this is going to improve the food of the children. But I'd like to know, I was privileged to be in Japan and to see the food that they serve the children. Are we going to use our locally based food or are we going to import and adapt what they are using? Thank you.
From Ghana Education Service SHEP unit. I want to find out the school feeding intervention. I want to find out of the 40 model schools, 20 will receive nutrition, behavior change, and intervention. And it will be done in a rural setting. So I want to find out whether the geographical areas have been identified and the duration of the program. And I want to know specifically the role of Ghana Education Service. Thank you.
For the first question, the proportion of food to be procured from local production, locality. Yes, we try to maximize, at least increase, the proportion of the food procured locally. Definitely no need to rely on the imported food, of course. That's also very important for food chain perspective to encourage local production. And also this is important in my understanding at the time of facing increasing food prices. This is somehow a global issue. So anyway, we try to increase the local procurement rate, but depends on what is available in the locally. So we have to be very careful. So it's not, it has to be, in the end, it's customized for each school. Yes. So we, of course, respond to the socio-economic condition faced by local schools. And for the second, we have not come to any conclusion about geographic coverage yet. Yes, I don't have any stance and a comment, a view about, yes, any geographic focus at this stage in this project, not yet.
For this meeting is to inform all stakeholders about our intentions and subsequently to call on you to help us to actually design the intervention. And I think a key role to play in the nutrition of the meals as they stand now, and to help us also behavior change, education, and all of that. So you're a key stakeholder. Please, we'll be calling monitoring on in the schools as well. Thank you.
As a passionate blogger and a journalist and an activist as well, I felt this is a laudable initiative, and I want to commend all the partners involved, particularly Japan, government of Japan, for coming on board to assist in this project. Indeed, the food that our children eat these days in schools under the school feeding program it's a problem. It's a real big issue. And if Japan government has taken up the bold step to come forward in this partnership, we really embrace it, and we are going to talk about it highly. But I'd just like to find out, I'm curious, under this partnership, can we know exactly how much is the Japan government bringing on board as far as this partnership is concerned? And also, let us know the duration of this project. Thank you very much.
We are not in a good position to disclose the budget issues amount, especially because we have not come to an actual agreement, between Washington, D.C. and Ghana yet. But if you look at the intervention, number one, the finance governance part, we're not proposing to increase or inject any money from the donor side. We are just rechanneling. This is a re-engineering intervention. For the second component, the nutrition intervention, we consider increased budget for, but remember, this is a pilot intervention. So scale is relatively small because we like to learn first what works, what may not work, what to be changed, what can be changed. So that, yes, so to answer your question, we are not ready to share details about, but we share our concepts and the spirit at this stage. As my colleague mentioned, that we are learning. We visit the schools and we brainstorm, we discuss, and okay, to the second part of the question, the time frame. We are learning that right now that the academic year is shifting back to that of September starting. Yes, if that's true, we will align this project with that. That actually means it's not the intervention is not really starting very soon. We will align with it to start from September. That's one idea, but we have not come to any conclusion on this. Yes.
I think that some of the partners, or one of the key partners that we need to consider is Agric, Ministry of Agric. We can look at the food system approach and see if we can get the local farmers around the schools to produce the available food that they can afford, and in that case, we are going to be able to provide employment for the farmers and then create a local market and economy around the schools. So we can also consider that. Thank you very much.
He explained that we are going to make this project around rural areas. So if the project comes out successful, are we going to extend it to urban areas? And my second question was on the suggestion of increased funding for children to improve their food situation. But in this economic situation that we have in Ghana, how assured are we that this would work? Are there any other suggestions to the project in terms of budget?
With regards to diet quality and diet disparity, I want to know how we are going to measure the diet intake at the household level, and then how we can complement that with the school level as well. Thank you very much.
To the farm, agriculture production. This is a very important, and also this reminds us the fact that the school feeding itself standing in a very multi-sectoral setting. This is something we cannot underestimate. It's not just about the food, but also to education, and education to the labor market, and also household side, social protection, whatever, household economy, and school economy, the food, and education through human capital formation, and then the labor market, employment opportunity, life cycle issues. Yes, and then if you look at the nutrition education, this is a knowledge spillover from generation to generation in the end. Children will go back home to share the story, tell things to parents, and they become parents as well later. So this is a kind of a kick-off of a positive cycle of knowledge as well. But you mentioned about linkage to the farm. That's really important, especially when we are facing global food insecurity crisis. Of course, we look at all issues balanced way, but we also have also the duration is one constraint for us too. So that within this constraint, under these conditions, what we can do, what we can show, what we can learn, that's the issue. And the rolling out this intervention to the urban areas. This is something we don't know, and also the follow-up, scaling up activity. Well, ideally speaking, we are the one who create the knowledge. We will but this is the land of Ghana, of course. In the end, the burden, responsibility, and of course, we work together long term, but it's hard to tell for those to answer those questions at this moment. And of course, relation also mentioned somehow that between families and then school. Yeah, this is the essential part. We look at things, try to look at things in an integrated way. Of course, yes. School doesn't stand alone. Of course, school feeding doesn't stand alone. It's a part of everything. Yes, that's how we view this issue. And that I meant to answer by saying it's hard to tell from the project side. Yes, at this stage. Maybe later on, yes, we will be ready to talk about this.
We're going to have a lot of scoping before we design the intervention. Once we are done with that, we'll also have a baseline survey where we can look at household food intake and all of that to put what the children get from school in the context of their dietary intake generally. So we'll look at the household level as well.
I look at the intervention areas. So you have governance and finance, you have behavioral change, then you have nutrition. I want to know, have a bit of details of how the nutrition education or nutrition training is going to be like. The background, or what I'm thinking, is that we are talking about food security. And if we mention food security, then we are talking about some 4 pillars. We are thinking about availability, we are talking about access, we are talking about utilization, and stability as well. And so if we are going to dwell much on expertise from Japan, how is the training going to be like? For instance, if we are going to prepare bankum, we are going to have that expertise from Japan to teach us how to prepare bankum and maybe kenki. So how is the training on nutrition going to be like? Just a bit of details. Thank you.
And I don't know if there's any provision in the school feeding program, but it's well noted, and we'll see how best to address if a significant problem exists. Thank you.
Of Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection Ministries, the National Coordinator, the Ghana School Feeding Program, the Deputy National Coordinator, the Director on Operations. We have Director of Finance and Admin, the Principal Accountant, the Public Relations, the Deputy Director of Operations, Program Officer, the Support Officers from Agric. We also have Deputy Directors, Monitoring and Evaluation, talking about Director of Extension Services, Ministry of Food and Agriculture. So, of course, they are supposed to be part if they are here. We are grateful. We also have Madam Paulina Adi, the Director of Women in Agric Development. We have Dr. Kwabena Tando, Deputy Director General. Madam Theresa Opon, Director School Health Education Program. And all head of EMIS to the Noguchi Memorial Institute. We have our administrator still here. Thank you so much. The director was earlier here. All our partners, the media, you've been here since morning. And to everyone here gathered, we want to say a very big thank you. And without you, we are not here. So this meeting or this project is something to look out for. And we want all stakeholders to join us to do this well for God and country. I want to call Dr. Futoshi to wrap it all up in 30 seconds for us. And then we will be out of here. Yes.
So just see what we do, we can do. We may visit you sometimes. Just help us. We are working hard. We will work hard. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. And from here, we have to go and look for the day that you were born. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. We are so grateful unto you. Thank you so much. God bless. We will allow the Honorable Deputy Minister to go out first. Then we will follow up. Thank you.
Thank you.